Fuck.
Fuck. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So, prologue for inevitable YouTube video. Welcome to the Crystal Tomb. I am GM kcStranger, and these assholes are all in my campaign. And
Oh, we're not.
Fair. Cruel
and
but fair.
so, we pick up. Last time, you guys navigated quite some distance, actually, from the surface down into the caves beneath Einangrun. Traveled for about a day and a half to get to where you currently are, which is somewhere about here, actually a little bit further. Incidentally, Alistair, you weren't here, so I will say that you remembered to open your map around, probably around the point that you were getting off the part that was already mapped out. So you are making an accurate record of everything, everywhere you're going. Incidentally, I do not have another map like this drawn. I will just admit that right now. But anywhere you go, I will happily map it out for you later, because as we've established, I am a map. Okay, so last time when we left off, the party had come into a chamber, found a skeleton that looked. I mean, the head looked very much like a fish. It did not seem like a normal surface creature. And carved into the wall in Undercommon was this rather interesting line that I've put in the middle of a sea of map, in case you want to read it. So, all right. So we pick up here. And before we do anything else, Fallon, please make a perception check. And by the way, I need to establish something here. Does anyone have any lights going, or are you just glow crystalling this shit? I can't hear you, Kane.
I'm happy to torch it up.
I am tied to rope.
Yep.
Are you going to torch it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Do make sure to, just because you're underground, and I'm going to track this a little bit closer than I normally would, deduct another torch. So you will have light for the next hour. And actually, Fallon, the fact that there is light going means you have advantage, although as it turns out, you don't need it. Okay, so most of you are kind of looking at the writing on the wall. As I said before, it kind of vaguely resembles common in the characters, but obviously only Colleen can read it. But Fallon, you look to the side, look down towards the ground, and you notice something else that you've been looking for a long time. There's a little vine growing out of the ground near the cave wall, and on it you see 2 purple flowers.
I guess crouch down and start to pluck them and say, "Don't mind if I do."
So just note somewhere that you've picked up some purple flowers. You don't have to do anything besides that.
Stealing our puzzle pieces.
All right. So other than that, the room is kind of boring. It's just like, a 30-40 square foot chamber. What you saw is about all that's really going on there. So you continue down a small, stop me if you don't continue down, but you continue down a bit of a winding passageway. Not too long before you actually come to another chamber and see on the wall again, some characters are carved. This time you do see a faint, very faint green glow coming from it. You're reminded of the moss from that earlier chamber, but it's very, very faint. And I will continue to spoon feed to clean. But so you basically go through several chambers like this. And in every one of them, There's writing on the wall. The glow gets more and more. Finally, by the time you get to the last chambers, you see fairly clearly that this moss is actually glowing inside the crevice of the text. But so Colleen, do you share what you read with the entire party, or do you want to see it first?
I would like to see it first.
All right. So after going through, I believe it's 10 rooms, here is what you read. And I'll give you a moment.
Yay, we got them all.
Oh shit. Don't. What? Don't read that.
It's alright.
Okay, you don't know it until Colleen decides to tell you. If Colleen decides to tell you, you can read it, but
We find out that Colleen actually can only read Hooked on Phonics out loud style.
Yeah, so here's what happened. I whispered nothing. I whispered like a blank message.
And then you double pasted it.
Yeah, because I was trying to insert a blank, like a new line. Anyways, whatever. Wrecked.
It's alright, they can know. It's a lot to read and puzzle together myself. I feel like I should read this out loud for all of your YouTube viewers.
Yeah,
So I'm not just sitting here
we
quietly.
were getting double digits. Yeah, so if you
No
would,
way.
if you would like to share it with the party,
Double
then why don't you
digits.
go and read
Someone's view botting this stuff.
it?
Outside the golden wall led before the flower grew. Its not hand was stretched toward a thorn. Its not head craned. Stop fucking typing. It's moving the chat. It wailed, it roared, and rebelled against the arrogance of the roses. Its eyes became the river. I will kill you. Questing ever outward, clawing, clutching. From the dark waters rose the many-legged eels. From the dark skies swooped the many-eyed bats. The river rose up, but the garden was barred by vines and cold steel. The eels became prey for vultures. The bats became carrion for sharks. At last, but 4 remained, above, beneath, beyond, within. The wall of the garden held no meaning for the children of emptiness, and they went forth to devour the womb which was denied them. You're welcome, team.
Kane's eyes gloss over.
Someone has a very strange relationship with prepositions.
What's the preposition?
Never mind, Kane. It's okay.
I've heard better.
Can't say I've ever seen a many-legged eel as well. Seems very strange to me.
Well, what do you think it means?
How many eyes did the tiny Cthulhu's have?
Oh, the dark mantles.
Colleen could summon hers back up to show you.
Well, actually, you know what? Probably the person who. Do you want to ask the party? Do you want to try to remember yourself?
Johan, you got a good look at one. How many eyes did it have?
When I started looking at them, they didn't really have too many discerning features after being smashed with Warhammer. So I can't tell. I'd say about 3.5.
Oh well, I guess it'll be mystery forever.
I mean, you could ask other members of your party if you wanted, but if not, that's fine.
I think 3.5 is right, Kane. That's how many eyes they had.
Sounds legit.
Damn it, Alistair bot.
Okay, so you guys stand puzzling over the strange words for a bit, but then do you just keep going forward? Probably, I imagine.
Oh yeah, totally. Weird riddles.
All right.
Nothing foreboding about that at
I mean,
all.
unless we see a garden, I think we could.
All right. So you shake your heads and move on. Some members of the party have already moved on. Like after chamber 2, they had moved on. But so leading off from the last room is an even narrower tunnel than the ones you previously went. There's room to squeeze past each other, but you walk single file. And actually, Fallon and Johan have to bend down a little bit in order to keep from hitting the ceiling. At last, though, you come to a small opening, and through it, and I should mention, this is highly schematic. What you're seeing isn't quite as ordered as this would indicate, but it's easier to draw an ordered map than a non-ordered one. So,
This looks like perspective, and it scares me.
perspective.
Like
Oh.
looking.
Oh yeah,
at
it kind
Yeah.
of does. I can see that.
Just like, what are all these
Everything
things?
for 1 point.
Well, okay. So what you're seeing actually is what appears to be a large chamber. Once again, I set up the measurement for the map so that you can measure distances, and they'll be pretty much appropriate.
Oh, it's a really big chamber.
Yeah. And through it, and you actually see what seems to be a village. There are torches mounted at intervals that illuminate stone huts, and you can see bipedal creatures walking around. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what they are at this distance, but you guess they might be in the 5 foot tall range. Also, your position is fairly high up. You're separated from the floor of the cavern by about a 50-foot drop. And so anyone who wants to can take a turn coming up to this opening. It's small. You could squeeze through it, but it would be a little bit awkward. And there's not a really easy ledge on the other side. So let me just ask it this way. Does anyone not want to take a look? Okay. Yeah, so you all sort of shuffle around, get a view of this. It's a little bit hard to see how you get down, especially if anyone's looking this direction, how you do it quietly and stealthily. That being said, Alistair, when you approach the opening and look down, you sort of also look down at the wall. You see a bit of a sheltered area about 30 feet down that has a bit of a trail that runs along the wall of the cavern. Would you like to go there?
I'll turn to the party and say, are we going down? Or are we turning back around?
Are crystals brighter or less than they were?
Yeah, so since you guys took that junction, you haven't actually gone all that far. They look about the same as what they were before, but I mean, you can make a check if you want for something more definite than this, but I'll say you're pretty sure that the only way you'd really be able to tell a difference is if you were walking directly towards or directly away, and even then it's kind of iffy.
Can we see the bipedal creatures at all to get a better look at them?
It's kind of hard, but give me perception.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I mean, anyone else can try, but that's also not good enough. No.
Good start, guys.
Final size
Okay.
is very
Give me
low.
a second.
Shove your face in there, Halil.
Nope.
Okay.
Yep.
Halil.
What do my elf eyes see?
Your elf eyes see coming out of, you see two of them come out of this building, right
Yeah,
here.
bottom.
And they look, okay, so first of all, they're vaguely humanoid, and it kind of reminds you of the skeleton that you saw in the early chamber. When it comes up to their heads, it sort of bends straight over, and it looks like somebody stuck a fish head on these things. Their feet are webbed, you can tell. Let me see. Anyone who wants to, actually go ahead and make a history check. Because
Anyone?
identifying creatures has suddenly become history in my world. Okay, yeah, you actually recognize these from readings when you were at school. These are Quotoa. Would you like the rundown on those? Or do you know what
Oh,
those are?
yeah. Go on.
Okay.
Give it to me.
All right, so back in the larger world, this is the lore that you know. You don't know if these Quotoa are the same as the ones that you have history about. But basically, at the height of the empire of the Mind Flayers, the Illithids, these creatures were their servants. And eventually, though, when their empire started to crumble, a lot of them broke free, but their minds had sort of been shattered by their servitude. And so they sort of tend towards insanity. They would like make up gods and serve their made up gods fervently, but even to the point where their religious fervor could take on a magic of its own and actually bring these gods into existence. The most powerful Quotoa tend to be their archpriests.
I will share this information with the rest of the party.
We
Do
will
I
not
know
do a
anything
double
yet?
exposition.
Do I know anything more?
Yeah, sure. As Halil is describing it, you remember a few other just little random details about Quotoa. You know that a lot of their weaponry is designed to immobilize rather than to kill, like capturing. You know that they tend to be very sort of slimy and hard to, like if you tried to grab one, that would probably be a bad idea. Yeah, that's about it.
Interesting.
Do we know if how they react to being smashed by a hammer?
Probably badly, based on.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, you do know one more thing, Colleen. You know that in addition to the archpriests and your basic run-of-the-mill Quotoa, there are also, or there were. I mean, this knowledge is very old, but last you knew, there were a few sort of intermediate ranks in the Quotoa as well. There were members of the ruling family who had certain magics bestowed on them, generally sort of low level, but they were casters of a kind. And then there was another class that were servants of the priests who had skills more along the lines of a monk, like being able to do like multiple unarmed strikes and stuff like that. Those were called respectively whips and monitors.
Interesting.
Oh, and final thing that I should say is you know that they were generally regarded as evil creatures, although, you know, even an evil creature, they will have their own self-interest in mind. They do have society and things like that.
Do you know what language they speak, if they have a language?
Colleen would know this as well, Undercommon.
Yeah, figures.
I mean, unless this particular line of Quotoa has diverged from that. But based on the Undercommon on the wall, next to a skeleton of one of these things, seems likely they still speak it. Unless that writing is really, really old.
Oh, sounds like
Well.
a plan.
I guess we
Goat.
can go down and perhaps introduce
Kill
ourselves.
everything?
I don't think we'll walk out of a city full of monsters, but
I think we could probably steal some of that shit.
Oh my gosh.
Why?
Did you
Did-
say
We
that
have-
out loud?
Called them monsters or something. We saying stealing the shit out of that.
it's still their things.
It doesn't look like they'd have much of value down here anyway.
No, that's very true.
Oh, speaking of which, I should probably describe some of these areas that you're seeing, because you can see enough to get a general idea what you're looking at. So these two areas sort of back here, these are harder to see, but there are buildings of some kind back there that you can tell from where you're at. The ones closer to you are easier to see. This one looks like a giant fungus field. It looks like maybe they're farming it. This one has some larger buildings, maybe like shops or some kind of meeting hall or tavern or something like that. This one has some more sparsely populated fungus and also some like sort of ox-looking creatures. Not quite the same as the surface ones. And over here, it just looks like a bunch of stone huts. And then in the middle here is a pretty sizable temple, from what you can tell.
But that temple has some valuable stuff in it.
I'm not so much about the valuable things, but it might be easy enough for Colleen to go down there and ask them if they've seen Liriana.
Well, I believe it's worth a shot to go try and talk to them, because if we can see most of the town, odds are they've probably seen us and your torch there.
I
We
slowly
might
put
as
my
well.
torch out.
I mean,
Is there much
I mean-
light in the town itself, or
There are
That's pretty dark.
torches
I mean,
that seem to be like maintained, like permanent fixtures.
Yes, let's go talk to them. Gain
Well,
their
someone who
trust
can
into
climb
the
a little bit
temple.
better than me should first and
Well-
brace the.
Well, wait a minute, Alistair. I had a question for you.
Yes.
If you want to go down, it's going to be pretty difficult to scale
Yeah.
this wall that you're on.
Yeah.
Would you like to make it easy for your party to get down?
Is this via like a jump?
No.
Oh,
This
there's an
is
easy route.
you are getting an impulse that you can do something that will ease your party's descent considerably. And I am asking you if you would like to do that thing.
Yes. Can you whisper me and help me roleplay my intelligence score?
I'll whisper you a little more detail.
Alistair is furiously typing to himself.
That's all I'm going to tell you.
That's just the sound of him thinking. It's quite noisy.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're hinting at here, Casey. I'm gonna be honest.
well, I'm going to tie down a rope
I haven't
so we
given
can.
you enough
climb
information to
down.
guess. I
Yeah.
will go ahead and say that. I've given you some information about this, but you probably don't remember.
Push
Probably
Kane.
not.
Yeah, I'm going to tie
Yeah.
tie a rope somewhere and scale down the wall.
Oh, wait a
They
minute.
Someone-
scale down into it.
All this is happening instantaneously for Alistair. It's taking
No,
him
no,
some
no,
time to
yeah,
think
yeah,
about it. But before you have a chance to do this, I'm asking Alistair this question.
I think about it and I feel like I know the answer, but
But you what?
I as a player have no idea what you're looking at. So it's maybe a rule of the game I'm missing or something
No,
else because
no
I'm
rule of the
looking at
game.
my spells and it's not a rule of the game.
It doesn't have to do with your
Item
spells.
I have?
Don't try to metagame this. Just say yes or no.
Yes, I would like to.
Okay. So,
Oh,
Alistair,
sorry. Okay.
as you're looking at the opening, you like I said, you glance down and you sort of see the sheltered ledge much closer to the ground, and you're like, I can get us there. So you take a moment and you sort of make a motion with your hand through the air. You realize after you do it, you realize that you're not holding your wand, but what the rest of you see is he actually rips a tear in the empty space in front of him, and a sort of violet portal opens up in front of him. And Alistair, you can look down through the hole and see another portal on that ledge that you were looking at.
Oh my god, I've become aperture science. I'm gonna go through
Yeah.
it. Let's do this.
Okay. You go through the portal and you appear on the ledge below.
I'll be right behind him.
Seeing as my magic people went through, I'll follow.
Oh,
I guess
they
I gotta
trust
go
it, so I can
through
trust it
too.
too. Yeah.
that's
Since
cool. I guess
do.
I better go through it before it goes away.
Kane was gonna hesitate, but he got pulled through our opening.
Fallon shrugs his shoulders and tries to talk Gmorks are going through, but he doesn't want to, so I have to like pick him up and carry him through.
All right. So yeah, so eventually you all make it through this portal. Alistair, you sort of glance at them, sort of, you're
Knowingly.
slightly surprised that you're even able to do this.
I'm trying to cover up the surprise, but just barely.
Yeah, and no wild magic roll actually. Just
Do I notice
you just do this.
surprise?
Alright.
But then once you notice everyone through, you sort of think like, well, now might be a good time to close that, and whoop, it closes up. Incidentally, message me sometime after the game. You will have the ability to do something along these lines at will in the future. So message
Alright.
me and I'll give you the
So
details.
jealous. So
How did
jealous.
you do that, Alistair?
Kane, some of us spent our time studying magics instead of learning how to be quick with our hands. So maybe you can do it one day too. If you don't steal anything from this temple, I'll maybe even try and show you something or two.
Magic would be useful. You
I
have
lie
a
my
deal.
teeth out.
Do I realize he's lying to me?
I mean, if you want to combat this, then sure, go ahead and make an insight check. But I mean, like, I'm fine with you guys just role playing the social interactions as well. Like, if you want to be suspicious of what he says, feel free.
Can I
But
detect
now that
the
you've made the
snark?
rolls,
I mean, can I detect the sass? Just or
yeah,
snark?
sure. Like you don't need to roll to.
Oh, the sass isn't secret.
You don't need to roll to detect the sass. That being said, Alistair conveys this very convincingly. He's not like obviously nervous or shaken up about it, which is kind of would be surprising if he like didn't know about this, which is in fact the case. And Kane, you don't like see an obvious tell that he's lying.
Kane I pat Alistair on the back. Thanks, man.
Well, yes, it'll be a lot of work, but we can try. Now let's go meet some fish people.
So yeah, incidentally, you are currently on a sheltered ledge right about here. You don't see any activity at this point headed your direction. You do see some of these things like wandering around through this village, but none of them seem to have noticed you at this point.
Yeah, I put my torch out at this point as well.
I'm a stealth.
So we can approach quietly. I think that's our plan.
Okay, so yeah, so what's your plan? And actually, let me go ahead. No. Yeah, I mean what I've shown is about what you can see. The chamber is bigger than this. Some areas of the map should be hidden, I believe. But if you say that you're going in that general direction, I'll reveal more to you guys.
The big black bits around the edges.
Yeah, those.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what's the plan? Which way do you guys want to go? And do you want to like try to sneak there, or are you just walking
All right,
openly?
let's everyone draw an arrow on the map at the same time, and whichever place
I'm stealthing.
we'll go to.
I like this idea.
All right.
3,
Okay.
2, 1.
Okay, that's not. It's not at the same time, but it
All right.
works.
All right, so we're gonna
think-
head straight for the temple in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stealthily.
I'm going to be.
Casey's
Yeah.
face is just like, oh dear.
Yeah.
A weird majority rule work.
But I don't think we're gonna sprint there. You know, we're
Yeah,
gonna
no, stealth.
be aware of the
I'm-
guy, the people,
Oh.
and things.
Oh, are we stealthing?
And I
So
don't want
I-
to run through an ox pen.
Stealth
Yeah.
with
I
me,
wasn't,
buddy.
because Johan wasn't planning on stealthing.
I think we should try to stay unseen for as long as possible.
Okay.
We don't need to be.
I
completely-
concur.
But
Is that with our burning torch or without?
No,
I already
he put it
torch
out. And I mean, the city's lit up enough that without the torch, you guys can still see okay. So, all right, go ahead and make stealth rolls, everybody. Make them at disadvantage, everyone.
Oh, so I'm not
Still
the
got
only
You
it
one.
too.
And Fallon, if you can make one for yep. Okay.
holy
How
shit, we're
does
getting
Johan not have the worst stealth?
Wow, I had you guys do Oh wait, there's one missing. I think
I'm not gonna roll a stealth.
you're
Yeah.
not even your entire party's trying to move stealthily, and you're not. You're going to just walk.
I'll move carefully, but I'm not trying to hide myself.
He's like awkwardly
Are you walking with the rest of them?
If we're all stealthing in a circle around him, can he be hidden?
Not
I
with
don't-
these rolls.
I mean, they can walk away from me. I don't care.
Oh, you'd walk away from us probably. You'd be going
Probably.
faster.
Yeah, I'm just
I think
trying.
that's fine.
I'm just trying to figure out what's happening here. Are you guys splitting? Are you like walking
No.
right next to them?
No, we're
but just,
not.
Doing whatever you want.
Is this where we need? Do we need to convince?
No, I
Colleen
think-
Colleen
to-
wants to go
I think we
forward by
all
herself.
agreed to go stealthy,
is
and then
Killian
Colleen just kind of starts walking casually. there.
Colleen's nice and friendly, and she doesn't think that any harm will come to us.
Exactly.
I think.
believe that's what
Okay.
happens.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So you guys start to walk away from from this point, and well, actually, let me think. What would the approach look like? So yeah. So I mean, there are some sort of like small rock pillars on the ground. Occasional stalagmites and stuff like that. So you sort of, most of you make a bit of a winding path, and do a fairly good job of staying hidden from a bunch of people in the town. Colleen, however, just sort of walks straight up Main Street, and it does not take long before a few of the Kuotoa standing outside this building right here sort of point to her and mumble some things to each other. And they
Do I
just
see them?
yeah, you see them.
Can I wave and greet them in Undercommon?
Sure. What do you say?
Hello, friends. How are you today?
All right.
About the point that we hear Colleen shout out to the other creatures, I'm just gonna get up from my stealthy like crouch and just kind of walk up to Colleen.
Okay.
Should
So they
know.
see you approach from the darkness where you were hidden, and you see them sort of jump a little bit. Then they don't respond to you, Colleen. They start murmuring to each other. You can't quite tell what they're saying. Or you know what, Colleen and Alistair, make perception checks. Or actually, no, just Colleen. You're the only one who speaks Undercommon.
Okay.
I'll give them a little bow too. Why not?
Okay.
Because they definitely understand overworld.
Courtesy.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, yeah. You see their eyes go wide, and then they start muttering to each other, and they disappear back inside the building. Are you guys continuing your approach? Are any of the rest of you trying to remain hidden?
Oh, I'm just going to walk up to them, seeing as they already blew our cover or whatever.
Okay.
I
To be
Yeah, I
honest-
think unstealthing
Okay.
is probably best because I don't want to look like I'm sneaking up on these guys. They
Okay.
might take it the wrong way.
You're sneaking up on us. You're their ally.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
get spooked as
Um,
Halil approaches out of this shadows towards us.
Boo!
A jump.
I mean, to be honest, I was just rattling along anyway, so I might as well do it, in plain view.
Okay.
Well, I'd say it's
Yep.
safe to say we surprised them a little bit.
So from out of the tavern, you see actually 10 creatures come out the side of the building that you're on. You're not sure if there are more of them somewhere, but those are the ones you see. I'm gonna go ahead and give you some indication what these things actually look like. So most of them look like this.
They're adorable.
I wish that
Things
one
with
was gonna
fish heads.
doubled up, though.
They're gonna be awesome to kill.
You do
No.
It's like he's ready to just.
also see
It's less adorable.
one of them who's sort of towards the front and flanked by a couple of the other ones. You think maybe he's some kind of leader. So it looks like that. Steps out and stares straight at Colleen as you guys approach. When you get to about 100 feet away, you hear him gurgle out in undercommon. Who are you?
Hello, sir. My name's Khalil Lirea. I'm here on an adventure. I'm actually looking for someone. Have you seen this lady whose name I forget?
Kyriana.
Liriana, that one.
Yes.
He looks kind of dumbfounded. And then mutters
I
something.
hold up-
Oh, sorry, you froze. Can you repeat that?
I hold up my little glow stone. I was like, she has one of these.
You hear him mutter to the one next to him, "Go get the priest." And then the one next to him starts running back up this way towards the temple.
Be a tired frogman.
Yeah. It's not that far. Would I make it 750
It's a
feet?
quarter mile. Oh, no,
Yeah.
not quite.
This is all your fault, Clee. Look at you, that poor frogman.
And then he looks back at you and says, "I hear your name. What the crap are you talking about?" And I really should do some sort of gurgly frog voice, but the only one I know how to do is like Gollum, so I'm just not going to do
What about Kermit?
it.
Can you give us a Kermit voice?
Kermit the Frog here.
Or Yoda.
Second that.
Yoda.
Yes, we're looking for a friend. She's gotten lost down here.
Lost in the dark caves, you say. Well, good luck, I suppose.
You haven't seen her.
There are many strange things in the dark places. You haven't really given me much to go on here, even if I was inclined to help you.
Killian,
I'll sort of,
what the hell are they saying?
yeah, I'll sort of whisper
Yeah.
back to the party and give you guys a rundown of the conversation so far.
Well,
Ask them if they've seen anyone who's not a fish
Yeah,
person or a troglodyte.
yeah, ask if they've seen a very elfy-looking elf lady.
I turn back to the guy. I said, "She's an elf.
What did you say to the rest of them?
I was asking, I don't know this woman personally, but she's a friend of one of ours, and so I was trying to get a little bit of description for you."
Mm-hmm.
I just know she has one of these stones and that it will light up if we find her.
Oh, that's a pretty stone. Sort of
They
takes
are
a
quite
closer
pretty.
look at it. Then, okay. Well, what of it? Do you intend to walk through our town?
Well, is there another way? Is that something you would recommend? Or
There are caverns in the back. I can't say what would happen if you took any one of them.
you can't say. Have you not been there?
I've been there. I don't know what happened if crazy persons such as yourself took them.
Crazy person such as myself. Huh.
But by all means, if you would like to worship with us, I can show you the way.
Worship? What do you mean?
Oh, you know. Oh, maybe you don't. Do you not know, he says with a bit of a gleam in his eye, the ways of our great god Blindploop?
I whisper back to the group, do you know of a blimp loop?
Do we need to roll religion for this?
Sure, that would be
Oh.
religion.
Blind poop?
No, there's an L there. But yes, it's very
Blind
close.
bloop. Okay. Oh god. Why is religion int? Oh,
Praise.
never mind.
Y'all don't
Okay.
know shit.
Yeah.
Johan.
Well, I mean,
If he even knows anything about
None
this
of you
crazy
have
made-up
heard
god.
anything, but Johan, you do remember that these things like to make up gods? Colleen said that
Heathens.
earlier.
Yeah.
infidels. This is actually getting really close to Deus vaulting all over this place, but yeah, it's a made-up god as far as I know. It's not the one true god, at least. I say, brandishing my holy symbol.
Well, one of the 9 true gods, but whatever.
Well,
That
What
sounds
is your holy
fascinating.
symbol? Does it look violent?
no. If I remember correctly, it's a, yin yang sign
Oh,
thing.
I turn back to the
It's
fish
like
man.
vines, and it has like a hawk emblazoned over it, I believe.
Yeah.
Tell me about this
Something.
this blimp loop.
Oh, he came to us very recently from the depths. I can show you to his
Depths, you
chamber.
say?
And he sort of smiles.
Is this a creature?
It is a god.
Person? What kind of god?
How many kinds are there? Stupid person.
Well, there are nice gods, there are evil gods, there are gods that are
What is this nice and evil?
well, that's an interesting question actually. It's kind of a interesting line between the two, really. So I talk philosophy with a frogman.
Well, fish, but yeah. They're kind of
I like-
froggy, I guess.
I like referring to him as a frogman.
Yeah, go for it.
yeah, but the
Um,
frogmen are the ones Valen sees in his dreams.
I think that's a bit
There's a
racist.
difference.
Would you guys like to go see Blimp Loop?
Yes.
No.
Also,
I've never
can
met
you,
a
That-
god before.
Killian,
Yes.
could you help me learn this language? These people seem interesting. Or, well, their god seems interesting.
Well, I could, but it would be quite hard. I spent a lot of years studying this language, and
Oh.
it's not something that comes very easy.
Oh,
And it's not very practical. This is the first time I've ever had to use it.
well,
I don't
that's
like the
true.
sound of going to
just
meet a strange god.
Just real quick, do I see where Fallon is stealth, so I am also stealth?
They said we could take any of the caverns at the back of the cave if we
Probably.
choose to.
Oh,
but
that's
I'm like, unless you're hiding from each other, I see no reason why you wouldn't know where he is.
But we'd also be
Okay.
crazy to go down them. Or he
Yeah,
doesn't
that-
know what happens to crazy people who go down them.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds like a bad idea. How about we go see Blind Bloop and see what happens? I mean,
Because that's not what we're here for.
well, I mean, we're here to look for the elf lady, but we can first see if the god maybe helps us. Or well, god.
Yes, gods tend
Made up fish thing.
Well,
Even
we don't
if it
know
is
if it's a
made up.
fish thing. It's some relatively powerful entity that, you know.
It might have no power at all.
It's probably like a big turd from some sea monster.
So as you guys stand here debating this, you see coming down this center path, 3 more of these things. 2 of them look kind of similar to the guy you've been talking to, except you notice they're not carrying weapons. One of them, though, is dressed more ornately. He's got like a necklace with some crafted like metal. I'm trying to think how to describe it. It's a necklace. It's a metal necklace. All right. He has some jewelry. He has sort of a nice thing, some clothing wrapped around his waist. And he's holding a staff as well that has sort of what looks like a crustacean on the top of it. Maybe like a lobster or something. Not quite sure. And he's sort of flanked by these other 2. And he approaches you all. And he looks at the other one and mutters something. Colleen, you hear him say, "Thanks for keeping them occupied while I was coming." And then he turns to the rest of you and says, "Well, in my 80 years in this village, you certainly are. 5 of you are visible at this point, I think?
Yeah.
4? Is it just 4?
Yep, 4.
4 of the more interesting travelers I've seen in my time. Welcome to
Really? You're only 80.
to Indplur.
She's still speaking undercommon.
Yeah, still speaking Undercommon. Only Colleen can hear this.
Okay.
This is the name of the village that he gives you, and says, "My name is Drimple, and what may I address you as?"
I'm Colleen Lurea. Pleased to meet you. All like curtsy.
Colleen. Pleasure. And he doesn't like go to shake your hand or anything, but he just stands sort of, 10 feet away or so and nods at you.
Oh, have you seen this elf that we're looking for?
Elf.
Yes, she's down here somewhere. We've lost her.
Are you referring to some manner of drow?
Well, no, she's not a drow elf. She should look similar to this one. And I point at Halil.
That's racist.
Indeed, I see the differences.
I mean, we're both
Wow,
elves.
I'm so effeminate.
Also, I'm kind of an elf too.
Well,
Are you an elf? I
I'm
thought
the only
you were a half
non-elf
elf.
hanging out outside.
Yeah. Also, I'm
Yeah,
in.
but you're what elf?
what?
Bitch
I'm in-
elf. That's what you are.
I'm a wood elf, or well, half a wood elf.
it's true.
I'm the purest bred.
Yeah.
Says, well,
Not that
I'm
matters.
blue.
I am not sure. I don't remember anything. If you would like to come back with me to the temple, we could ask if anyone has seen this person you were looking for. And if not, there are certain magics that may perhaps aid you.
I would like to make an insight check on this person.
Okay.
I am sort of suspicious after him saying thanks for keeping them occupied, but my insight sucks. So
Yeah.
Seems pretty genuine. Oh, by the way, actually,
Can Kane do anything to
wait a minute.
get,
Hold
like,
on.
trying to
I
get
just
a-
remembered. For these insight checks, I'm going to do it slightly differently. I basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll 2d20s on my end. One of them is going to set the like 0 to 20, or the like 1 to 20 scale, like, or 0 to 19, I guess it is, like where we're starting. So like when you roll a 3, the base might be a 4, which means the 3 is actually a 20, if that makes sense. Like I start counting from 3 instead of from 1. So basically all that means is you won't know how good your insight check was. What I will do is if you like really succeed, I will give you something more confident seeming. And if you only just barely fail, I may mitigate it somewhat so you have some idea that, you don't know. Like you will be most confident either on a great success or a great failure.
gotcha.
All right, so given that, let me see here. That is that. Okay. And yeah, like you don't notice anything off about
Can Kane, while stealth, try to get like a feel for the mood of these frog fish people? Like, to see if
yeah,
they're
sure. Go ahead and make an insight check as well.
I'll turn back to the group and say he asked that we come to the temple with him. I am sort of suspicious of some of their word choice, but I don't really sense any ill intent here, so I think it's okay.
Kane, they are definitely uneasy. You are a very weird looking group to be coming through here. They don't know how you got where you are. So they are understandably concerned. But, they're also like not immediately attacking you because they're like looking at like the shit you guys are carrying and they have no idea who you are. So there's obviously like some sort of preservation instinct.
when you say looking at the shit we're carrying, do you mean the way Kane looks at people's shit? Or like
I mean, like, for instance, Johann is visible to them. He is, like, dressed in armor and carrying a war hammer. Like, they understand what that means, so they're obviously a little bit wary.
oh, so they're just kind of sizing people up.
Yeah. Yeah, there's sort of that vibe. And, like, they don't know, like, whether they should be trying to run you out of town or, letting you in. So.
Kane will remain stealth
Okay.
for as long as possible.
That could go horribly wrong. We'll see how it plays out.
Okay. Oh, no, you guys have had a rest. You haven't had any combat since your last long rest, so you should be totally topped off.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
I say we head towards the temple. What's the worst that could happen to us besides being brutally murdered in a cave underneath the world?
I suppose
I like the way you
incurring
think,
a-
Alistair.
Yeah,
Talking to
incurring the
these
wrath
guys.
of a god.
who's God?
Their god. Oh well,
Why would we do that?
god.
Like I said, I've never met the god before.
And to be honest, like the best case scenario is we become their god if we utterly wreck the current one.
Is that how it works down here?
Yeah, as far as I know.
All
Maybe
right.
we should go with them. We need to stay on our guard. Don't really like it down here.
My good hand is ready.
The
Let's go.
the priest, Drimple, looks back at you, Colleen, and says, "Are you the only one of this group who knows how to speak properly?"
Well, yes. Some of my friends are not super well versed or well traveled. You see.
Fair enough. Well, anyways, please come with me. And with this, he sort of motions to you and turns around to walk back towards the temple. But you do see the ones that came with him are definitely keeping a very close eye on what you guys are doing. The one that was talking with you earlier is still there as well. and you're seeing like clusters of just like random village people starting to like stand around watching.
I'm gonna occasionally wave to a group of them.
I should
Colleen,
try
do you
and
think
make slaves.
we should go back and get the others
Nah,
before
let's
we
just
go
yell
too
at them.
far?
I
But
just now
it's just
realized
Kane
that
and Fallon,
Kane and
right?
Fallon haven't come out yet.
Well, I mean, there's Wolf, bro.
Isn't
I like
Kane
him.
still tied to Johan?
No,
He cut the
Okay.
rope,
yeah,
which
he didn't
means
like me
Johan's
anymore.
like dragging around a half-tied rope. around.
Yeah, I am. But it looks like I just have a belt on my plate.
I asked Colleen if it's gonna be really strange now if another two of us come out of the shadows on a giant wolf.
It.
Yes.
That's why
Yes.
someone should just go back, pretend to get them, and come back with them.
Maybe you should warn the priest. I'll go grab Fallon and Kane.
Sure.
So yeah, I turn around and just kind of like wave out Fallon and Kane and walk back towards them a bit.
Kane's doing this. He's doing this. He's doing this. He's doing this.
Because you're gonna make it through a whole town invisible.
Well, he might.
I'm
Kane
definitely not
believes.
saying names, but
Yeah.
I mean they can't
You need
understand
to
me
have
anyway,
faith.
So. I'll give Fallon his
I'll tell
opportunity.
the priest
to...
there might be some stragglers.
I'll join the rest of the party. And when I see the fish people, like probably eyeballing me and the wolf, I'll just kind of give a hey, just a wave.
Okay.
The wolf gives away.
So Fallon, you sort of stumble out of hiding. I'm just checking something real quick here. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you come out and you see lots of startled-looking reactions. You even see one or two of the Quotoa sort of reaching down for like spears that they're carrying, but they don't do anything. And the priest like doesn't even flinch. He just keeps walking. Except he does call back. So glad you decided to join us.
And I
Did you say that
say,
in common?
yeah.
Oh no, that would be an
bleep
undercommon.
bop
He
to you
doesn't
too.
speak. So actually, that's what he says. But Colleen's the only one who understands it. You still respond?
I'll giggle.
Okay.
I'll still respond to yes. I'll like mimic what he said back to him and say, yeah, okay.
All right. That works.
That was
All right, and Kane, you're attempting to remain hidden.
Totes.
Okay. Yeah. So most of you guys take a stroll up Michigan Avenue with the fish people.
You have to make so many like.
Kane, you take advantage of the fact that most of the villagers' attention is drawn to like the strangers in their midst, and it lets you sort of, slip a gap, sort of through, or actually no, you sort of slip back into this area, walk, stealth around this building, come in from this direction. You think you're managing to remain unseen here, and we will move to this. So finally, you do approach a temple, except I need to move you guys because you're coming in from this direction.
Those guys have lots of dots on them.
I
I know what
mean,
those dots mean.
Just in case we want to fight our way through the temple.
like, I haven't told you to roll initiative.
But you can't stop me either. I'm doing it.
All right.
So I just want to get in the temple with the torches, and I want to throw all my gnome salts into the torches to get them really psychedelically tripped out for their god.
I need to.
That's a great idea.
I mean, if it works out.
Quick. Okay, and I'm gonna zoom in on this a bit so that I can actually see what's going on. Okay, so this is the priest. He's got two of these guys flanking him. I didn't know exactly how you would wind up in this situation, so I just sort of
That's fair.
had something set up.
You had to know with the name like Blind Bloop we were coming in though.
Yeah, there are sort of some of these guys. And yeah, so, and you guys can like arrange yourselves however you want, except Kane, you are going to be sort of, you know, off somewhere, probably like I'll put you here and then do what you will. Suffice to say, if you get particularly close, you're going to have a hard time remaining hidden. Say they're over here. All right, and they lead you up a wide stair that, and don't get too hung up on this particular image. It was the best I could come up with. I looked really hard for a temple that I liked, and I didn't find one. But yeah, it's let me see here. So as you come up, you see there are some Kotoa that are already at the temple. It seems like there's like regular worshiping and even sort of like celebration that goes on here. There are a couple of them that appear to be stationed as sentries there. But since you're with the priest, you sort of just walk straight up, and you all follow him inside.
Yeah, onwards.
Sure.
Okay.
Like idiots, like lambs to the slaughter.
All right, Kane, you are going to have difficulty remaining hidden if you try to go in with them. So, would you like to attempt that, or would you like to remain outside and hidden?
Can I like? Do I see any like other entrances into the temple?
So, from where you're at right now, you can just see sort of the front of the temple and part of the side. There is a very obvious entrance at the front in the middle. There are not obvious entrances elsewhere. You do see that there are stairs in the back. Perhaps a reasonable guess that there are entrances there as well.
Can I try to sneak to that entrance? Or to those stairs, see there's an entrance?
Do you want to sort of sneak around the side of the building?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to use your original stealth roll for this until you try to do something really fancy. So as you go around, you sort of stick outside the sort of arcs of torches that surround the temple. As you get to the back, you can see that there are some smaller entrances in the back. There are also those creatures that came out with the priest, the ones that aren't like carrying weapons. You do see two of them stationed on the stairs outside, and you have difficulty imagining how you would get past without them seeing you. You would have to do something creative. It's not likely to work if you just sort of walk up. I will also say the temple is on sort of a high ledge. So in order to get at it from the side somehow, you would need to figure out a way to get, at least 10, 15 feet up.
I sort of whisper back to the party. Did I fail to mention these guys are expert trappers?
That doesn't bode well for
Yes.
our blue friend who hasn't
It's a
shown his
trap!
face yet.
So Kane, I want to, before I jump back to the others, I want to sort of establish your plan here. Unless you want to just stand outside thinking and maybe interject later.
I can think.
If you decide you want to do something, that's a fine answer
What?
too.
Wait until the priest says, "Speak now or forever hold your peace."
Yeah, that seems like a good plan.
Okay.
Nope,
go ahead.
Okay, so Kane has a plan.
All right.
So, are there any like buildings, like Actually, no. So there's nothing like if I try to go past that line of torches,
Mm-hmm.
would that be something risky?
So once you go in past it, like you don't feel it would be risky to go past it because then you're going to be within easy vision of the sentinels for the temple.
Okay, so those two guys, are they the only guys within view right now?
The ones in back you're talking about?
Yeah, the one to the entrance I'm eyeballing.
Yeah, so if you were to go around back, there aren't as many people back there. Those are the two that you see.
All right. I think what Kane will try to do is create some sort of distraction to
Okay.
get them away from the door.
Okay.
I think he's gonna maybe try to.
So just so you can see what you have to work
Well,
with.
while they're
real
not
quick.
looking,
Like,
Huh?
just so you can see what you have to work with real quick. There's sort of an empty space around the temple, but then all of these different areas that I sort of described to you come to a head right there. And actually, now that you're closer, you can see a bit more. So let me go ahead and actually reveal a bit more map here. Let me see here. Reveal. So you can probably see something like that. So you can actually start to see a few exits from this village, as well as since you've walked further, you can sort of get an idea of the general shape of this cavern. So these areas here, this one looks like shops and forges, basically. Like this might be some kind of blacksmith here, for instance. And these are like nicer homes. It looks like sort of more of the high status members of the community might live here. And there's also, you do notice because you're very close to this, there is another building right here. It looks sort of nondescript from what you can tell, but you do notice two guards outside this building as well. But these are sort of the areas you could explore, but they're all like a bit of a distance from the temple itself. Like, like easy sight range, mind you, that's like 100 feet, something like that. But there's like an open space.
all right. So what Kane's gonna do is he's gonna like as close as he feels safe getting to those torches. He's gonna put like a trail of oil leading in one direction out, and then like light it, and then
Okay.
try and approach from the other direction. If they like go to investigate this sudden line of fire that's pulled in one area.
Okay. All right. So I guess you're heading to the back then.
Yeah, well, it's just those two guys.
Okay. Go ahead and position yourself anywhere outside the line of torches, and sort of give me an idea.
Where did I go? There I am.
Yeah. I put you at the bottom right. So you can just move yourself anywhere outside the line. I'll say you can do that for free. I just want to get an idea what your angle of attack is here. Okay. And then are you drawing it? Are you putting your torch line over here? Are you putting it over here?
On the left side, like from the left away.
Okay, so you're
And
sort
then
of
I'm gonna like draw the line from
draw
the
something
torches
here.
out
Okay.
like that.
Like this?
Yeah, and then like I'm gonna light it and then circle back around the other corner and
Okay.
try and approach from there if they go to investigate that fire.
Okay. All right, got it. Okay, so let me think. All right, so here is what will happen.
No warning them of the blue person.
So
Oh, do this.
Seeing
You have no
how.
say anymore. you know.
And you know what? This might have gone forgotten, but I think that you would have done this at some point. Or actually, would you have? Have you had the chance? Let me think about that. No, actually you haven't. So yeah, all right. So you draw the line, sort of headed out this direction. Go ahead and make one more stealth check as you're attempting to do this. Okay. So you do that. Hey, don't assume anything. I mix up my DCs, man.
I'm scared.
And you get all ready to go. You maybe set down like a piece of string that you had with you as a kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like a fuse, so that it's burning a little bit and you have time to get in position. And then you see the oil light up over there, and you look at these two guys on the stairs. You see they sort of look at each other. One of them disappears inside the building, and the other one starts running down to investigate. So now's your chance if you want to try to make your approach.
That's really far.
So like you
How
can,
fast can I go?
I think you can go 60 feet per turn. I will just let you know that you see it running. You can run about as fast as it can.
All right, I'm gonna try to run up to the door,
Okay.
but then give it a listen to see if I hear anything approaching it from the inside.
Okay. Make one more stealth check as you do this. Okay. Yeah. So it runs down to try to figure out what's going on with the fire. You also see from that direction a couple more Quotoa come out of like some nearby huts and start like looking at like what the crap's going on here. You ghost up the stairs, making nary a sound as your feet strike the stone. You get up to the top and investigate the door. You listen in, and you can hear distant voices sounding anxious, but they're not right outside the door. Also, you check the door, it seems to be open.
I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go inside and look
Okay.
for a spot to hide.
Okay, yeah, you go inside. It's dimly lit, just sort of low red sconces that are holding fires in the hallway. You glance left and right. You hear the voices coming from up ahead, but that's the only direction to go at first. So you go a little bit up, and then there's a hallway that branches left. You take that, you run in. You finally find a room that has. Let me think. What do you find? Yeah, you find a room where there's some objects that have just sort of been discarded and lying around. Like there are like large mirrors and wardrobes and stuff like that. But because of all this random crap, there's also very natural places to just sort of slip in behind it where unless someone specifically wanted something that was right in front of you, you could probably remain hidden there for a while. Like it looks like they've just dumped a bunch of stuff here. So you slip in behind something, and presumably you're gonna like wait for the commotion to die down a bit. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll just chill in this room for a bit. You can hop back to the other guys to give them a chance to
Yep, that's what I was about to
do
do.
some stuff. All right, cool.
All right, so I'm just making a quick note to myself. Kane is chilling in a, I'll call it a junk room, but you don't know whether it's junk yet. Okay, so the rest of you are with the priest and you know the fish people that are flanking him, and he takes you inside. There's sort of an area in front. There's like a bit of a foyer there. Sorry, just a sec. Kane, I'm gonna have trouble concentrating on two things at once if we do that. So I'll handle it. Don't worry about it. Just yeah. If you think I get ahead of where we should be, say so, and I'll take action to remedy that. Okay, so yeah, it takes the rest of you in. There's like a bit of an area there, and then just past that, there's sort of a wide circular room that seems to be some sort of gathering place or sanctuary, even, or something like that. There's like an altar, like another, actually sort of oval altar in the middle of it, made out of stone. But you don't go there. You actually turn right, and there's a set of stairs that are there. So you go up the stairs, and he takes you to a room that has several stone but nicely carved pieces of furniture. And he looks back at Colleen and says, "Could you and your friends please wait here for a moment?"
Sure, we'll wait.
Thank you. Says a few words to the two others who were sort of flanking him as he came up. And actually, I should say, as you were going up, two more of them actually sort of fell in behind as well. So he says that, and then he disappears, and there are just sort of four of these guard types remaining in the room with you. And you have a moment here. They're just sort of standing sentinel.
We sort of look at stuff around the room, or
Yeah, sure. So it's the room itself is just maybe 15 by 30 feet, something like that. Stone walls, but it's been hung with like scarlet and gold tapestries that depict just like, to your eyes, strange looking creatures, although they're gigantic. Your mind goes back to like these things making up gods and thinks maybe this is like artwork depicting those. Besides that, there's just sort of these, and when I say stone chairs, like, don't think throne, just think more like a normal chair, actually. Just like legs, back, seat, that are sort of arrayed around the room. There's a couple small tables. There's the area where you came in. The stairs sort of go up to a landing and exit into the room. And there's a door that seems to go back further into the temple.
Well,
well,
I
guys,
guess I'll
what do we do?
inspect tapestries. Whoa. Just appreciate the art.
Okay. Actually, let me think about this. You can make a history check if you want.
Thanks.
So close.
Yeah. You recognize basically what I saw. I mean, what I said. You do additionally notice certain motifs in them that would be atypical for creatures of the surface. So like jaws that have like several rows of teeth, like think kind of like a shark. Some of them have multiple arms, and you even kind of want to say the word tentacle, although that would be so Lovecraft if you did. Some things like that. So like they're kind of strange. All right. So are we just waiting for something to happen then?
I asked Colleen if she knows where. Is Blind Ploop here?
I'm honestly not sure. He just asked us to come to the temple.
I totally made that name up on the spot. Okay.
Uh,
Oh.
I would guess that he might be here, seeing as all the tapestries are, or they keep him in another chamber somewhere else.
Do I have 3 spell slots?
Yeah.
Should I cast alarm on the door? Or do we care?
No.
Uh,
No, you shouldn't.
Careful about casting magic in front of them. I'm not sure if they know what magic looks like, but it's usually suspicious when we start waving our hands and shouting strange phrases.
I think we can watch the door if we want.
Okay. So, if there's nothing else, you all sort of wait nervously for a bit. And then you see Drimple come back out of the door, and he's accompanied by a younger looking, you think, Kuotoa, but also dressed as a priest. This one's clothes and appearance are a little bit different, and you guess that it might be a female, actually, even though you're not an expert on Kuotoa. And in fact it is, so I'm going to start using the word she. So now 2 priests come out. This one says, "Greetings, strangers." Grillfish. My name is Ilderop. And then she turns to you, Colleen. I understand that you are the translator for this party.
Yes, that's correct. More or less.
Okay, interesting. So, I've heard tell, and she sort of nods towards Drimple, that you are looking for a companion who disappeared in the tunnels.
Correct.
I see. Now, unfortunately, we have conferred amongst ourselves, and we do not know where the one you're looking for is, but there are certain magics to locate such a one. So, if you would be agreeable to it, we would consider using some of our magic to locate your friend and guide you along your way.
Well, that sounds lovely. I mean, uh, is there anything we could do for you in return?
And at this, she chuckles. I mean, you didn't think we were going to do this for free now, did you?
Well, no, typically there's an exchange of goods and services when you make a deal.
Yes, I was getting to that. At first, I just wanted to see if you were interested in the goods, if you will. And at this point, Kane, this has been some time. Are you trying to get closer to the party, or are you just trying to remain in hiding and maybe explore the temple more? Are you trying to locate them, or?
I want to look around this room full of stuff.
Okay.
Just do a quick glance before I head out towards them.
Okay. Let me see here. Make a. Gosh, what would this even be? Just make a straight intelligence check. Or actually, no, make an arcana check as well.
So 2 checks?
Yeah, make 2 checks. Okay. You look around, and there are a few items here that seem fairly valuable. You notice some mirrors, a nice looking rod, a sensor, and a number of these are either made with precious metals or gem encrusted.
Is there anything small that's gem encrusted?
You see something that looks just like a very ornate egg. It's studded with gemstones.
Yeah, taking that.
Okay. Mark down jewel encrusted egg.
And heading towards the party if I can.
1 pound. Or 1 pound, half a pound. Half a pound for jewel encrusted egg. Headed towards the party.
Yep.
Okay. Make another stealth check as you do that. And actually, that is what I will use.
All right. Stealthing.
Okay. Yep.
Hopefully.
Nothing bad seems to happen. And so yeah, you're sort of in the back here. And you find a stair, or actually, wait, let me see. Just roll a d20. This is just a luck roll because you don't know where they are. Okay. So you look around. You sort of explore some hallways, sort of initially in this direction, and then you sort of head back towards the side. And eventually you do find a stair, much like the one the party went up, and make your way through what seems to be an empty hallway. But you don't get very far before you hear voices. One of those voices, in fact, is Colleen's. So I will say that there is here another room that you could hide in. It doesn't have as much cover as the other one. It seems to be like it just has like a table and some chairs in it. It seems to be like some sort of meeting room or something like that. You're not quite sure. Basically, you can stay there, but if anyone goes to check and they look very closely, it might cause problems.
Can I look in their room to see if there's a spot that I could like hide?
Yeah, so like in that room, you could like hide under a table or behind a chair. It's like you have enough cover that if someone was just glancing for something and not paying very close of attention, they might not see you, but it's not going to hold up to inspection. But there aren't really many other rooms in this. Like, this is the best thing you can find in this
All right,
particular
I'm gonna go in the room with the rest of the party, and then say sup, and then go hide.
So, okay, so understand, maybe I should sort of diagram this out for you. Here's the room where the party is. Here's the hallway where you are. And here, roughly, is where the priests are standing. And this is where the party is.
Oh, I didn't realize there were priests there.
Yeah, so, like, you're on the wrong side to signal your party and then get out smoothly. So,
Okay.
like...
Yeah, I'll just hide where I can.
Okay.
How high are the ceilings?
How high are the ceilings? Like, normal, so like 8 or 9 feet.
Okay, I'll just hide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
Like a
suffice to
dark
say,
corner.
you can hear all their voices
something.
from where you're at, sort of distantly down the hallway. You think you might stand a decent chance of getting out. You did actually notice in the hallway you're in, you do have an escape, although it might be like there's a window there actually. It has a tapestry hung over it that you could probably get through, and it would be some distance to the ground, but you're pretty sure you could do it one way or another. So you've got an escape out, but you don't have an easy route to the party from where you're at. Okay.
All right, I'll just chill here for now.
Yep. Okay, so back to the rest of you. Drimple is going to, or excuse me, Ilderop, the grillfish, is going to address the rest of you again and say, well, so, Ilderop, and she gives a bit more of a bow towards him this time than she did at first. Noticed something odd about you and your companions. So we have 2 conditions for assisting you. The first is that you must come with us to pay homage to our god. The second is that you allow us to open your minds, if you will. Those are our conditions.
I'll turn and tell the party.
Okay, and they sort of stand back and give you time.
What does this opening of minds entail?
I think I'm okay with this.
Pineapple? No, okay.
I should just offer them some of Fallon's drugs. We'll open your
Suppose we
mind.
can always meet the god first, and then if the opening of minds seems unpleasant, leave.
Just ask them more about this opening of
It's hard
minds.
to walk away from a bad trip.
Okay, well, Colleen's gonna have to do all the talking unless one of you knows a tongue spell.
I do actually, but I'm not going
I'll
to use it right
turn
now.
and say,
Since we
could
have a
you
translator.
perhaps tell me more about this opening of minds? Perhaps the word choice is just not familiar to me. It's not my primary language.
Ah, I understand. I don't know, perhaps some of you have had inklings already? My elder believes that you have certain abilities you may not know about. We wish to unlock those. And you sort of see a bit of a smile crinkle around her mouth.
She's a
A
fish.
few little sharp fish fang teeth appearing.
I
Around
would
the
like to
sides.
try another insight because I'm really good at that check.
Okay. Oh, another insight.
You're the best around.
Okay, and you have a 0 mod for this. Okay.
Yeah.
Never gonna let you down.
Okay. You look at her. Something about the way she smiled made you mildly uncomfortable. That being said, you don't really know anything about the facial expressions of Kuotoa, and you didn't really get much else offer otherwise.
I'll turn back to the party and say, they mean to help us unlock our hidden potential, I guess you could say, but it doesn't really make me feel super great when I think about him. I just get this sort of uneasy feeling, really.
I think we should do it.
So 1-4. What does everyone else think?
I can go first.
I'm having misgivings about
I
this.
turn back
I
to
can take second.
to not Drimple, is it?
Ilderop is the female one.
Ildra?
Yeah.
Is this sort of a spiritual or a physical opening of mind?
She thinks for a moment, and then she actually gives what appears to be an honest laugh. Oh, child, I am not a surgeon. What do you think?
I
You don't need to be a surgeon to open someone's mind physically. All you need is a hammer and sufficient force.
She looks
Wow,
at Colleen. What is your friend saying?
Oh, that was out of character.
Oh, right. So you wouldn't know what she said. I mean, I'm
Oh,
assuming
and
that Colleen is
Johan
sort of
doesn't know.
relaying this back and forth. So.
Yeah, Johan wouldn't know the word surgeon. Oh, well, he might, but
I mean, you would have had those during your time in the army. Shit happens. People need surgeries. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
nothing super advanced. It's
Yeah.
not like you have people administering
I mean-
anesthetic. But, I mean,
Yeah.
Just
you did
amputating
so.
a few limbs here and there.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Well, actually, yeah.
Can I ask? Say, Colleen, ask her if there's any side effects to having our minds open.
Oh,
That it would be unpleasant after the effects wear
Or
off.
pleasant even.
Our a friend here who's very open-minded in his own way wants to know if it might have any other sort of effects with that.
She sort of thinks for a moment.
pineapple.
Says, no worse than anyone else in this village.
You know, sometimes when I open my mind, I feel pretty bad afterwards.
Well,
It fades. It fades. It's perfectly safe.
seems alright. I'd still like to know what you guys want to do. I don't want to
Uh,
speak for
um,
everybody more than I already am.
Well,
I
I mean,
think
I'm
Let's all
always
say
open for having my mind opened.
let's all say pineapple together.
Yeah, yeah, yes.
we
Sorry.
say thanks,
Fine
but no
apple.
thanks, and try our own luck in the caverns.
Yeah, I'm still interested in meeting their god, but I'm not sure I like that they have other conditions attached to it.
Well, it's... Johann bot to the rescue.
Quick, let me copy his backstory for you. No, I'm just kidding.
It's up to you guys. Before I start making up stories about how you're all my slaves and I don't care what happens to you. And
Kane is strongly against this, but he's not in the room, so.
I'm
If
all
he
for
knew
it.
our minds were going to be opened, he'd be against it.
Strongly.
Can you see if she'd be fine with me volunteering first?
I'm sure that doesn't matter.
Well, that way, like if it goes terrible, only one of us is incapacitated. Maybe.
Expert here would like to volunteer for tribute first.
She looks down at him.
She looks down at me. How tall is she?
Well, oh wait, are you standing?
I don't know.
Because
I guess we're in the chairs still.
yeah,
or we're
like I
supposed to be
had you
sitting.
all seated. If you want to be standing, then she'll look up at you instead.
Oh, I just want. Sorry,
Okay.
I forgot we
She
were sitting.
looks at you, wherever you happen to be.
She looks toward you.
And actually,
Eyes up
Fallon,
here, sweetheart.
Fallon, make a charisma check. Just make a raw charisma check.
Okay, getting
Or
there.
actually,
Hold on.
better yet, make a performance. Give me performance. I don't think you're skilled in that, but still.
We got a
Okay.
+2
Not
in
bad.
performance.
You give a nice little manic leer as her eyes cross over you, and she looks back at Colleen, and actually, well, it's nice to see eager volunteers. Certainly.
Does she get many of those?
I don't think Fallon passes up a chance to get high for free.
Well, first you get to go meet Limp Bloop. I guess. What sort of magic do you have that can help us find our friend?
Huh, and she thinks for a moment. I don't know if your word for it is the same as ours.
You're both speaking undercommon. Come on.
Well, this is a slightly obscure word, and she's like, "Oh, I'll give it a try." And she says, actually, yeah, I mean, this is the common word for it, but you'd understand it. Says, "We can do a bit of scrying," and you would remember. So this is actually the scry spell, which allows someone to try to basically monitor a creature that's some distance from where they are. Basically, the more that you know about the person you're trying to scry, the more likely you are to be successful. So you would understand that she would probably be like interviewing you, basically, about whoever it is that you're looking for. And like the more information you give, the easier it would be for them to scry Liriana.
Well, that sounds very helpful. Certainly more than we have available right now. still up to you guys, though.
Oh yeah,
Gonna-
did you also tell us that they were going to use a scry spell? I guess we didn't know that ahead of time.
I'm assuming
Well, I
that
just,
Colleen
like-
is relaying
Okay.
stuff to you
But
unless
yeah,
she
Yeah.
I'll,
says otherwise.
Tell us, Colleen, tell us.
Yeah.
That kind of powerful magic might be worth the risk, especially if we let Fallon have his mind opened first and can observe the process.
Well, and
I
also,
wonder
if it
King
is some
got
sort of
off
crazy
to.
drug stuff, I might have a tolerance built up to it. So who knows?
I
I
can't do crazy drug stuff. I don't want to deal with weird fish magics if I can avoid it.
I'm just
I
hoping I
have-
get in there. I'm hoping I get in there and it like has like little to no effect, and it's just weak.
I like that
compared to
Fallon
my
just
home
convinced
brew.
us all that opening our mind is drugs, even though it could be tons of other things.
I have grave misgivings about this whole thing.
She
but
just she used some key phrases that speak to me. So
I mean, Halil,
speak to Fallon.
a scry spell would ease our search for Liriana.
possibly, but well, if it doesn't work, what's this whole opening our minds thing?
Do all of our
You're
minds need to
right.
be
You're right.
open?
We should just give up on her. Let her die in this cave and go
no,
home.
that's not what I'm saying.
You're an all or nothing sort of man, aren't you, Fallon?
More of a shitter. Get off the pot.
It's a lovely grasp of the language you have there.
Johan, tell us. Tell us.
Your
What do you
mind
think,
has been
Johan?
opened.
Okay.
Do you think it's worth having our minds potentially opened by these fish people to gain access to their scrying magic? Help us track
Well,
down Liriana?
I already said I'm always open for new experiences.
Okay. 2-4. 1.5 against. Oh dear. I'm for it, I guess.
I guess we're gonna proceed hesitantly and hope Halil doesn't give us a "told you so" speech at the end of the campaign.
to our dead corpses.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
Like Stan and South Park.
So yeah, you turn around and you tell. Oh, what's her stupid name? Give all these people crazy names. Yeah,
Drop.
you tell
Ill-
Ildrop your decision. She says, "Very well. We will have to speak with you, of course, before we cast our spell. We are agreeable to fulfilling our end of the bargain first. Who among you knows the target best? Or, excuse me, knows your friend the best?"
Target would be an excellent choice of word.
Who does know this elf lady the best?
Halil.
Oh, yeah. That's Halil. Ready to get your mind opened?
Yep.
Does somebody say that? Does somebody point out Halil? Does Halil
Well,
volunteer?
Well, I'm not there, so
Can I
I'm
just-
kind of-
if that's the
stretch out my
question,
arm
yes,
and
it's
point
me.
at him?
Okay.
I will acknowledge that is me, unless someone else has been going around meeting her.
I've never gone around meeting her.
Very well
So-
then. If it is acceptable, we will take the rest of you to a place where you may wait. And she looks at you, Halil. And you may come with me and with Drimple, and we will assist you.
I insist that I go with you as a translator for this group, as he cannot understand you.
Never.
This seems like the perfect opportunity for the Ohana speech. Yeah.
But Kane's not there. He'll miss out.
You say this, Colleen, and she looks at you and says, we haven't been doing it because this has worked well enough. But We can understand you at will. Don't worry, it is no problem.
Huh.
I feel bad. I feel really bad about leaving him.
And then she sort of like tosses her head to the side and sort of apparently says, "Why not?" She gives a small wave of her hand, and then she starts speaking in common now. See, like this, I can speak and understand you all quite well.
Yay!
She cast
I
a
can
spell,
finally
or
speak
does
to
she
you.
just start speaking in common?
The whole
She
time.
waved her hand.
You saw a bit of a hand wave, and actually, let me double check something. I have to look up the spell that she actually cast. Actually, no. Wait a minute. Never mind. She didn't do that. She sort of held out her staff just a little bit and muttered something that was a little bit hard to make out. But then after doing that, she just started speaking with you in common.
Okay, so I'm gonna assume she cast some sort of spell.
It seems like a reasonable conclusion.
All right.
So then I believe, yes, Colleen, it would be acceptable to have you along as well. The rest of your friends must wait elsewhere, however.
Can we
That
just stay
sounds
here?
alright.
But
We're admiring the
their
tapestries
family.
after all.
I refuse to leave my family alone.
Well,
Yeah,
you won't
Kane
be
is
alone. You'll be with
holding
me and
alone
Fallon.
somewhere.
Well, that was Kane's choice.
But this is our choice.
She looks at you, Johan,
Yes.
and says, I believe we had an agreement. That said, we did not discuss this part of the terms in advance. However, these are the conditions. This one will come with us. One may accompany him. The rest of you will wait elsewhere. You may decide amongst yourselves who the one is.
I feel like we should still send Colleen that way. If they decide to stop speaking common, Hello won't be left in the dark.
Okay, I've got
But
dark
then the
vision.
rest of us will be.
I,
I
I,
guess
I,
it's-
Well, if we feel like we need to, I have ways to speak under common as well.
or we can just fight our way out.
yeah,
By the
I-
way,
start
I'm
talking
sorry,
crazy.
Alistair, are you referring to your Comprehend Languages scroll?
I'm sorry?
Are you referring to your Comprehend Languages scroll?
Yeah.
For the record, that only lets you like read and understand. It doesn't actually
Damn
let you
it.
speak.
All right.
The best that you could do would be to try to.
Wait, it says for the duration you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that you hear.
Right, doesn't mean you can speak it. Like
Okay.
you hear it as if it was a language that you knew.
Okay, so but I'd be able to understand. We wouldn't be in the dark.
Yeah, you'd be able to understand, but you
Gotcha.
wouldn't be able
Okay,
to speak.
I couldn't translate back, but I could at least hear what they were saying about us. If
Well, you could translate.
and
You could
Leo.
hear what they were saying and relay it to other people in
Yeah.
your party, but you couldn't then communicate in that language.
right,
back.
I understand. I'm just saying, telling the party like we wouldn't be
Yeah,
left
yeah,
in the
yeah,
dark.
yeah.
We'd
Oh,
be able
yeah,
to
yeah.
understand.
Sure.
that's good
They
enough.
couldn't plot
That's
around
good enough.
us.
Yeah, for the duration of that spell, at least.
How long does it last?
I think 10
1 hour.
Out of character.
Okay.
But I
so-
think we're probably safe enough here in the temple. Can't surprise us too badly here.
Yeah.
At least there's
Bes-
obvious entrances and exits.
Yes. And I mean, come on, look at me.
Yeah. Johan's huge.
So we're doing the scribe
Yeah.
first.
Yep. They agreed to do their part first. Okay. So while you were talking, one of the you notice now one of the guard people sort of slipped away and came back with even more. So you are now accompanied by actually 8 of them.
Can I can I pull out my weapon threateningly?
Sure.
Okay.
Make a performance check.
Hey, I might actually be like proficient in this because I got to choose all sorts of. No, not this.
No.
It doesn't matter. I mean, I still have a +3 to it. Well, I mean,
Okay, you pull it
Most
out.
convenient.
You get a couple looks, but they can tell that you're not
Yeah.
about to attack them. So
Yeah,
sure.
I'll place it down on I mean, I'm leaning against it on the well, not leaning against it, but you know,
Yep.
the hammer, the heavy bit on the floor, and you know.
Sure. Okay. So they lead you. So you guys were sort of like here, and they're going to lead you a bit further back. And so those of you who are not Halael and Colleen, and Kane, you can hear them all walking basically past your position. They're walking into a hallway that extends sort of the other direction from where you're at. So it would be like off in this direction. So yeah, you guys, they show you all to a room, and it's kind of nondescript, sort of like the one that Kane is hiding in. And Ildrop says to you, "You will understand that you are strangers to us. If it is perfectly all right, we would like to lock you in here."
Who would like to what?
Lock you in here.
Oh,
Not you. Not you two, of course. Not Colleen and Halael.
yeah.
But the rest of you.
No.
Yeah. How about no? I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but
We've been pretty cool.
Surely you outnumber
yeah, and
us
this
in this
that
city
yeah,
hundreds to one.
yeah.
We're not
Besides,
foolish
I
enough
mean,
to try anything.
yeah.
She leans back
Besides,
her head.
this goes around
Besides,
the
what
other
if there's
way too.
fire?
You are strangers to us too, and I mean, I'm sure you understand why we'd be hesitant about being locked up in a strange place by strange people.
You know what? Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Johan.
I want to assist him.
It's
with
not
fire.
intelligence.
Oh,
He's good at
hey,
it.
Sure.
+5. Let's go, boys.
Okay. She sort of throws back her head thoughtfully. Yes, I suppose I can understand that. You'll understand I was raised to be careful. And she sort of
Oh,
looks at you all.
Yeah,
I
lots of
understand.
mischievous things down here in the Underdark.
So we would like you to wait here, but there is no need to lock you in. Is that acceptable?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. So she shows Johan, Fallon, Alistair, and Gamork, of course, into the room. 6 of the guards are going to stay with you. And then the 2 priests and the other 2 accompany Colleen and Halael. Hello. Oh, there he is. All right. Accompany you 2 a bit further down the same hallway. And they take you to a room that's a similar size and shape to the one that the other 4 are in. Except this one has a lot more sort of religious artifacts to it. There's a bit of a table, like almost like a shrine, at the front with a large mirror on it. There are a few like vases, some candles are going. In the middle of the room, there is a censer that seems to have some incense in it. And the 2 guards remain outside, and Ilderop turns to Colleen and Halael and says, "Oh, that's disturbing. Just read about the spider. If you would, please, come in here with us."
Sure, why not?
Sure.
That's what we're here for.
And then she motions to the 2 of you to simply sit on the ground. Actually, there aren't any chairs in here. She herself settles down to the ground. Drimple more slowly sits down beside her. So if you can picture this, they're sort of like, the door is here. They're facing this way on one side of the little circle with the incense in it, and they're motioning to you 2 to sit sort of like this way.
Sure,
Um,
take my seat, I guess.
And then at this point, too, as they're doing that, Drimple sort of gets out a sheet of parchment and a quill. as well. And then Ildrop turns to the two of you and says, "Now, actually, I didn't get your name. What is your name?" And she looks at Haleo.
Hello.
Excellent. Nice to meet you. If you could please tell me as much information as possible about the one you were searching for, it will greatly assist.
Oh, right. Yeah. Where's my backstory? What have I gotten written down? There we go. Okay. She was born on exactly the same day as me. She's exactly as old as I am.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should stop you.
Oh, you want
The most
visual description?
Or actually, wait a minute. Let me actually
Like-
look at this spell and see. Actually, no. Continue. Forget I said anything. Forget that Casey said anything. Keep going.
Fuck you, Casey. You were the one who came up with her description last session, though.
I
Did
did.
you say she had dark hair and
I said that she had
Stuff.
dark hair, slendered, on the pretty side, wood elfy, like a little bit on the tall side. I think I said, and slender.
relay all that then? She's the only child of Valian Ferondin. What else? I'm going to just say
Okay.
all I
You-
remember. From,
Yeah,
you know,
you're
my
clearly
childhood.
not holding much back. So you give a pretty complete description. Okay. Excellent. That will assist nicely. One other thing. You do not happen to have any object in your possession that might be linked to her in any way. Both you and Colleen can make intelligence checks if nothing comes to mind.
She has one of these small stones with her.
Like
That's
crystals?
what I was getting at.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yes.
We have those.
That are they linked to her somehow?
As
The
pieces
crystals are
put
linked
together, it gets brighter.
some way.
Oh, excellent. If I could borrow that would also assist greatly. I will, of course, return
I'm
it
really hoping
immediately.
this will give me away.
I'll give her mine.
Okay.
Oh, come on, mine too. Take two. Take two.
Okay, perfect. All right, so
Shut up and take my
given
crystals.
all that. Okay. All right, excellent. It will take some time to cast the spell. Please make yourselves comfortable. Just be silent, if you would. And with that, she is going to start focusing. She lights the incense, and at this point, actually, Drimple gets up, goes over to the shelf, opens a drawer, and takes out of it a silver mirror, and passes it to Ildrop. She begins to, start muttering random spellcasting nonsense, making strange hand motions nonsense. And then finally, she takes the mirror and, she's built actually a small fire in the pit, which the incense is burning, and she smashes it down in there. And the fire immediately leaps up and consumes it. And you see her eyes sort of flip back. And now I have to make some rolls. So that's going to be okay. 23. And she should have like a. Okay. So her eyes flip back, and then you see them flip right back down again and start darting left and right. she reaches for the parchment and the quill and starts scratching on it. She continues on like this for about 5 minutes, and then finally shakes her head and gives a big smile and looks at the two of you. Well, that went well. I believe this will help you. And she will show you a bit of a map that she's drawn. So I don't have all of this, obviously, but if we come back here, what this map indicates, and at this point I'm actually just going to reveal all of this. Is that if you head in roughly, and I need to double check this, but I'm pretty sure, yep, in like this direction, just beyond here, it narrows down into a bit of a tunnel. And that tunnel, so this direction is basically south. But that particular tunnel bends back east after a ways and leads on for what appears to be a journey of about a few days. She didn't really draw a scale on it, but there is a bit of a circle where the town is, so that's kind of what you'd guess based on that. And she tells you that she saw an underground cave with a waterfall and a natural stairwell that led up to a ledge where your friend has made her home under the earth.
That's helpful.
Wow.
Lol. Well,
Excellent. Thank you so much.
I believe that fulfills our end of the bargain.
And now you wish for us to meet Blimploop.
Bloop, bloop. Please.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. We will have to gather you all up once again for that. So she leads you out of the room, goes back to the room where the rest of your friends are, and sort of beams into all of you. Our attempt was successful. I believe that we have done much to help you on your way. Now, if you would, come with us. We will complete the rest of this deal.
Let's meet ourselves a god.
And unless somebody says that you're not cooperating, I will just narrate from here. So they gather you up. At this point, Drimple is actually staying behind in the temple, but Ildrop is accompanying you, as well as actually, let me think. Yeah, I will say 6 of the guards are going to come along as well. And they are going to navigate you, actually, down through here and that way. Okay? So you go past on the left, and again, like I said, interrupt me if you want to do anything dramatic. But on the left, you see like these nice homes. On the right, you see the fungus. Kane, we do have to come back to you. You hear the sound of them all leaving.
Can I try to follow at like a safe distance?
Yeah, now, so there's the little question of how you actually get out of the temple.
What?
So if you just try to follow behind them, then you will pass through like the front door of the temple, which there's a lot of people there. Your other options are to try to go back down the way you came, or you did notice that like window that appeared to be a potential side exit, even though it's kind of high up.
Okay. As they get out of sight, I'm gonna go stick my head out the window, see what's out there.
Okay. You look out, and it looks like actually most people are either in front of or behind the temple. You don't actually notice anyone off to the side. Like I said, you are about 20 feet up. But like the first Quotoa that you see is some distance away, sort of beside this little shack here.
How long does levitate last for?
It'll last for like 10 minutes.
I have it. Up 10 minutes.
Okay. So is that the plan? Like levitate down and try to follow?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna levitate down. Maybe try to go like maybe out past the torch, outside the ring of light with the
Yep.
torches, and just kind of try to go over it, raising myself up if need be.
You're gonna try to like levitate that entire distance horizontally? So because levitate
Yeah, I
just
can,
like
kick
lets
off-
you like
kick-
move yourself up and down. You have to like push off of something.
Yeah, but I can like kick off the building, can't I?
You could.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Just one thing to remember. If I head back here. Oh, it's how far actually is that? So you'd be going about 50 feet. It's not actually that bad. Okay. So I am, however, going to need you to make one more stealth check to try to avoid detection as you take a flying leap from the window.
No, not a flying leap. Like I'm gonna climb, then kick off from the building. You know.
Well, okay, as you levitate out of the window and then go soaring through the air for 50 feet before you hit the ground.
Does he need to do a check to make sure the ruby doesn't fall out of his pocket?
No, the ruby's secure. The ruby's secure.
The ruby is secure.
Okay. Yeah. So you go sailing past the line of torches, and you don't hear anyone chasing after you. You're probably fine. Now you think about it. They would have had the rest of them are going to be going downstairs, walking through a hallway before they get out. There's a good chance you actually came out ahead of them. So you sort of scramble a little ways away and find a spot where you can duck down, maybe behind a building and wait to see which way they go.
Yep.
And eventually you do see them sort of processing past down this path. So you sort of duck into the fungus field and sort of follow them along that way. You get to the edge of that and see them going through that tunnel to the back right. So you wait a bit to where they'll be, nice and ahead of you. Because it's a narrow tunnel. You're not going to be able to get very close without them noticing you. So you're just going to sort of have to guess the pace at which they're going and just tail behind at a distance, unless you want to get more daring, which is going to require another check.
No, I'm good. I'll just chill and see if I see where they're coming from and follow them as they go down whatever path they go.
Okay, and I need to just check one thing real quick. How I set something up. Okay, yeah, and actually this particular tunnel has more of that handy-dandy moss lining it. So you can even see decently well as you go through here. Of course, that means they can see decently well too. But anyways, although that being said, their dark vision is probably better than yours. So yeah, so basically you guys are all headed down this like slightly narrow, like you can all walk through it pretty comfortably. It's maybe, I'm trying to remember how wide I made it, but like 25 feet wide or something like that. You go through this tunnel that sort of winds off away. you get about half a mile down, and you do notice that the ground has become kind of wet and slimy. You have to really, as a matter of fact, everybody make a dexterity save, including King.
Even me? Following him?
Yeah, even you.
Kane
Alistair.
sliding past us.
That would be the worst way to end my like stealth mission.
Well, yeah.
I slip and slide past everyone.
Okay. So
Oh,
yeah.
pineapple time.
So yeah, as you're walking, Fallon and Johan, you sort of slide a bit on the rocks when the effect first starts to happen. You sort of have to catch yourselves a bit, but you stay okay. Alistair, you
use
totally
the-
do like one
Can
of
I
these.
use my ability
Oh,
before a result is thrown, but after I roll, I can't remember. Probably
Let me
not.
check.
It seems pretty powerful.
yeah, but let me check.
Basically, the luck thing. Let me check.
Y'all being escorted by the guys?
It doesn't actually
No, you
say,
just
which I
can't
think
announce it.
generally would mean you have to announce it
Yeah.
before.
I don't.
They're
think I can.
providing a wonderful escort service.
In
So-
fact, that's actually the next ability I get is to be able to do it after the roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you, Alistair, your feet fly out from under you. You land squarely on your ass on the hard rock. Take 1 damage. I'm just gonna call it 1 bludgeoning damage.
I'm rolling embarrassment damage too.
Oh,
2
Told you to
temporary embarrassment damage on top of the 1 bludgeoning.
You didn't.
No,
prepare-
wait, that's my first damage.
he did.
Casey, no!
Wrecked.
Can I cast shield?
No,
You
it's
didn't
not an
prepare your
attack.
paint properly.
I'll burn a first level spell slot. Does not hit the ground as hard.
The dream is dead.
Yeah.
No.
Can I catch him?
Give him a chance to catch me.
No, because you were slip and sliding at the time. You had to catch yourself.
Oh, Fallon wasn't. Colleen wasn't.
I mean, well, could I sacrifice myself for him to not take damage? I don't know.
Happened at the same time. Picked it on instinct. You take a damage. I'm sorry. You crit failed that shit.
You didn't properly prepare your tank.
The dream is dead. Oh, all right.
All right. So yeah, you continue down, and finally you exit into a chamber. It's medium sized. It's a large cave, but it's not as big as the one that you just came from. Think of it sort of like a large grotto, because there's sort of like a shoreline, and that leads up to the edge of a bit of a pool. He left in shame. And the priests walk up. Drimpole walks up to the edge of the water. You do notice off to the side that there is actually a small pile of more gemstones there. Actually, look like they've been intentionally set there. Drimpole walks up to the water and sort of motions towards Fallon. Says, the opening of mines that we spoke of, and she is still in common, actually, as well as the meeting of our god, will happen at the same time. You, I believe you were to be first, and she motions towards Fallon.
When I step forward.
Okay. Do you walk all the way up to where she is?
Sure, and I say, here over here then.
Yep. So she
Can
has you come up.
Kane see this shit happening?
Let me see. Yes. Yeah, you can sneak sort of to the opening, which is close enough to be able. Or actually, wait a minute. because it's also dark, even with the moss. Yeah, you can see it. You can see it.
Can Kane see that pile of shiny precious gemstones?
Yes. Although,
Right.
just to diagram it out for you, if the room, if the room is kind of like this, and then the water is kind of occupying this part, the entrance would be here. The group is sort of standing here, and the gemstones are like here, so you'd have to walk past them, basically.
Oh no, I understand. I'm just taking note
Yep.
of where they are.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you like a rough spatial layout. Okay. So yeah, but you're watching this happen. So Fallon, you come forward, and you wait a moment, and you hear the water sort of gurgle and bubble in front of you. And then I need to do something real quick. You see this come out of the water in front of you. Doo-doo-doo. I haven't uploaded it yet. Give me a moment.
Okay. Oh, sweet.
Oh. Uh-huh.
Although you only see like the top part of it, and it sort of
Like,
raises
just the
itself
eyes?
up a
Or do
bit
you
out
see
of
the
the
mouth?
water, and leans down towards you, and looks at you, and that's where we end tonight.
Oh,
Fucking
god
awesome.
damn it. Yeah, pineapple. Wait, no, actually, I see that, so not pineapple.
Pineapple. Pineapple.
Sadly, not pineapple.
Kane just leaves. He just goes home.
Can I? Okay, so
Yeah. Can I actually ask Carola real quick? Is this time to Deus? I mean, is Deus Vault?
That is where we ended the session. You may do that.
can we end it with me like getting my great axe ready and saying I've always wanted to meet a god?
Are you entirely certain that you want to do that?
No, that
Okay,
was
we will end on the
False
cliffhanger
gods.
that
okay.
I chose.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
I successfully did things for an extended period of time.
I honestly didn't think
Yeah.
you were gonna get to meet this guy, but hey, look, you found him. All right. Goodbye. If anyone's out there in Twitch land, thanks for watching.
I'm also got a peace out, guys.
I don't want to meet him. Can we